Today, I invite you to take a look at some Dutch criminal cases. The past few weeks have been filled with various events, ranging from surprising incidents to truly serious cases. I've gathered some of the most interesting stories to share with you today. One of the events even took place in Antwerp. If you're ready for a dose of crime stories, let's dive straight into the details. Find out what's happening in the land of tulips and police reports. Man on a scooter causes 3 explosions in a supermarket. Let's start with Antwerp. It's not even New Year's Eve yet, and alarming incidents involving fireworks are already happening. On Thursday, November 28, 2024, an unidentified man threw 3 powerful firecrackers into a supermarket in Antwerp, endangering the safety of customers and employees. Fortunately, no one was injured. The police are seeking help in identifying the perpetrator, who is believed to be from the Netherlands and was caught on surveillance footage. Belgian investigators suspect that the incident might be linked to drug-related crime, although there is no direct evidence to confirm this motive. Father of a child assaulted by aggressive scooter driver. A 53-year-old man was attacked by an aggressive scooter driver in a shocking incident in Bergen op Zoom. The unidentified man assaulted the 53-year-old father without any clear reason. The victim was cycling with his 13-year-old son when the scooter driver suddenly attempted to kick him. Despite falling off their scooter during the attack, both the driver and his passenger sustained injuries but did not back down. The father suffered a broken tibia and fibula. Attacker stabs customer in the leg. During a robbery in Groningen, an armed assailant didn't stop at making threats. He stabbed one of the customers in the leg with a large knife. The perpetrator entered the store, where an employee and 2 customers were present. He demanded a phone from one of the victims and attempted to open the cash register, but failed. At that moment, a brave store employee called the emergency number 112. Realizing the intervention, the attacker fled empty-handed, leaving behind the stolen phone. Thieves steal a safe full of jewelry. During a well-planned home burglary, during the night, 2 men managed to break into an apartment complex in Monster. They entered and exited the building multiple times, carrying items such as an orange crowbar and an extendable ladder. Eventually, they succeeded in breaking into one of the apartments, which was unoccupied at the time. One of the burglars covered the camera, but both were caught on footage as they carried a heavy safe outside. Thieves and getaway driver wanted. The police have released footage of a robbery that occurred in Lelystad. One assailant stormed into a jewelry store and stole several watches, accompanied by another suspect whose identity has already been confirmed. The duo was picked up by an accomplice driving a blue Toyota Yaris. During the robbery, they threatened store employees and customers with a weapon. Dutch police are still working to identify 2 suspects captured on the footage. Man knocks out an innocent bystander. A man attacked an innocent bystander on the street without any reason. In Gorinchem, a 40-year-old resident of the city was beaten unconscious. The perpetrator is clearly visible on the footage. He was also involved in another violent incident that occurred just a minute earlier. According to the police, the attacker is part of a group that had assaulted other victims moments before the man walked by. 10 men wanted for involvement in a brawl. 10 men are wanted for their involvement in a brawl and an attempted murder near the Rotterdam Zoo banquet hall during a double wedding. The violent clashes included the use of stones, prompting police to investigate the attempted murder of a woman struck by a paving slab. The chaos erupted at the venue's entrance when the unexpectedly large crowds forced security staff to regulate the flow of guests. Shortly after a dispute broke out in one of the halls, the situation spiraled out of control. The unrest spilled outside, where glass bottles and pieces of pavement were used as weapons. A young woman was struck by a paving stone with such force that she was rushed to the hospital. She suffered a fractured skull base, and doctors had to remove fragments of pavement embedded in her skull. 16 months later, she continues to endure the consequences of the attack. The 10 suspects in this case remain at large. Police seek perpetrators behind a series of explosions and threats. The police are searching for those responsible for a series of threats. Rotterdam police are investigating 4 incidents of threats that appear to be clearly connected. The cases involve explosions at homes accompanied by graffiti reading "Death to Thieves." 3 of the explosions occurred in Rotterdam and 1 in The Hague. The short time span between the Rotterdam incidents suggests the same group of perpetrators and a possible orchestrator. In addition to one site being targeted shortly after midnight, The same night saw explosions on a single street and in another city. The following night, around midnight, a very similar crime occurred in The Hague, where explosive devices were detonated and graffiti with threats was also left behind. Driver under the influence flees from police in a wild chase through The Hague. Footage captures the moment when police apprehend a driver after a wild chase through The Hague. The pursuit began after the driver caused an accident and fled the scene. Authorities suspected he might be under the influence of alcohol or drugs. The chase started with basic patrols, but additional units were soon involved to block the road and force the driver to stop. Eventually, the vehicle was stopped and the driver was arrested. The man faces multiple charges, including endangering road safety and driving under the influence. The investigation is ongoing and he will be questioned further. Police seeking men involved in shooting. Police are searching for 9 young men who were involved in a shooting incident that took place in Vlissingen. One of the suspects was captured on camera holding a firearm. In the evening hours around 7:15 p.m., a series of gunshots occurred on the street, creating a dangerous situation for residents and pedestrians. Fortunately, no one was injured. The footage shows a group of 7 men and 2 men on bicycles who may have been involved in the conflict. Police suspect that both the group of 7 men and the 2 men on bicycles were prepared for a meeting where a gunfight could have occurred. The following night after the incident, 2 buildings were shot at. International cybercrime network dismantled. Millions laundered through phishing and frauds. The cybercrime unit from Rotterdam, in collaboration with the Belgian police, dismantled a large international cybercrime network. 4 suspects were arrested in the Netherlands, and an additional 5 individuals were detained in Belgium. The group is accused of widespread phishing, banking fraud, and money laundering across at least 10 European countries, with millions of euros stolen. In the Netherlands, raids and searches were conducted in Zaltbommel, Harderwijk, and Amsterdam. The cybercriminals used advanced techniques that made detection difficult. Police emphasize that cybercrime is a serious issue, requiring international cooperation and modern methods to combat. Thieves in Audi stole 450 phones during burglary in Almere. The perpetrators arrived in a silver-gray vehicle and forcibly opened the entrance doors. Inside, they searched several rooms, including offices and storage areas. A total of 450 mobile phones, laptops, various tablet models, and 600 euros in cash were stolen. Authorities suspect the perpetrators may be from Utrecht. Man wanted for throwing ammonia bottle at police. Amsterdam police have released a video of a man wanted for intentionally throwing a bottle of ammonia towards officers. During the riots that erupted after a demonstration in Amsterdam, one participant threw a bottle of ammonia at the police. The investigation is ongoing and authorities are urging the public to help identify the suspect. Crime in the Netherlands is a complex issue that requires constant attention and engagement. I'll be periodically sharing updates on various European countries. If you enjoy what I do, don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up. Also, if you live in the Netherlands, let me know in the comments if you're feeling this rising crime.